and you're like, if someone breaks into my house, I'm just gonna go hide in a bunker and be, I'm gonna go hide in the shower. What? Grow up here!
Ruslan.
Hey, Rich asked us, why are we always asking for money indirectly? I'll be honest with you, Rich. This isn't indirectly. We're selling you merchandise right now. That's what's happening.
You just saw an ad.
This is pretty direct, my guy. We have custom cut and sew jacket we've been working on since December. A lot of people are excited about it. And we have merchandise that Zach's designed. We're rather excited about. Seems like people are excited about. So there's nothing indirect about this. I'm not sure which stream you were watching, but there's nothing indirect. We have merchandise on sale. Yep. You should buy it. Why should you buy it? Well, because when you invest and put your money where your mouth is regarding your attention and your dollars, it helps channels like ours. If you didn't notice, we don't do brand deals. We don't do brand deals because we don't want to sell you Helix mattresses and ExpressVPN and little plots of land in Scotland so you can be a lord or lady, right? We don't sell you that stuff. Why don't we sell you that stuff? Because we don't believe in that stuff. So what do? We sell you the stuff we believe in.
Because doing what we do here isn't free. It's not even our option to put it out for free.
I thought you were a volunteer.
No, it's actually, I'm paid and I have a wife and a baby.
Oh.
You get paid from the company.
Yeah. By the way, I get paid the same. We get paid the same amount.
You get two babies.
I get paid the same amount.
You get two babies. I mean, they're like big kids now.
9 and 3.
Wife, a house, a mortgage. We got Chris getting married. Somebody needs to buy a Subaru.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't understand how Rich survives. Like maybe Rich lives on like the fruit of the land. I don't understand the question. Yeah. You should do a daily phone call life coach session giveaway. Gotta donate at least $1. No, because then Rich would be upset. Why are we charging for?
You're trying to fleece the gospel for 99 cents.
Yeah, whatever we do, some rich somewhere.
And his name is Rich. His name is Rich.
Is gonna be upset about the situation. So there's that. But yeah, hopefully that provides some context. What we do here costs revenue and full-time staff, electricity and software and subscriptions and equipment, the mortgage. So that's why. So there's nothing indirect. Buy something from the shop because it helps us out a ton when you buy something from the shop. There you go. I thought that was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I give you a scriptural example. Right? Paul in 1 Corinthians 9 says that those who sow spiritually among you should reap materially. That's a shocker of a verse, if you're going to be honest with you. Paul also says that a worker is worth his wages. Don't muzzle the ox. There's a lot in there about people who work and provide value should be taken care of. And he's talking about like actual ministry. I'm not sure if you realize we're on a little platform called YouTube. That's an entertainment platform, and we talk about God, and we try to make that as interesting as possible. But Paul's talking about like pastors should be taken care of, and so spiritually should be able to receive materially. More Bible study for you. Somebody earlier asked, should we be watching violent sports like boxing, MMA, supporting violence? I don't think that violence is inherently evil. That's a hot take. I don't think violence is inherently evil. Andre, thank you so much for the super chat. If you are looking at violence as an objectively evil thing all the time, I would say you're in error. Violence, when relegated against people who are in positions of lower power for the sake of self-benefit, is evil. But violence in and of itself is not evil. Lady Rue properly pointed out self-defense. I would argue some forms of war, which we're going to talk about here later.
Whoa.
Is not evil. Violence as sport, is that evil? Maybe. It could be evil. But if two people are giving consent and going into a ring to see who is the best at something.
It's like a weightlifting competition.
It's like a weightlifting competition. It's like a soccer game. It's like football. And then where do you draw the line? Like MMA bad, boxing bad, but football, which has a documented history of giving way more brain damage and CTE than any other sport out there. Football good, hockey good, lacrosse good. You can get hurt in the NBA. You can get hurt playing soccer. That's the issue, is where do you draw that arbitrary line, right? And to assume that MMA is not a skill. I mean, MMA is like chess. If MMA is chess, I would say boxing is checkers. Because MMA is so technical and so complicated. And you have adults who are willing to consent and engage in that. And from all the studies I've seen, MMA has the least amount of CTE and brain damage comparison to, I believe, NFL, and then boxing is second, and then MMA is third.
Wow.
Yeah. From the research, that might be sloppy, dated research, but from what I've seen, I believe it's, so Apologia Center saying is boxing. Yeah, boxing is definitely more dangerous.
Yeah.
Because it's more straight head trauma.
Well, and because of the gloves, you don't get knockouts as fast.
That's interesting. Yeah. I don't know.
So you accumulate more punches before the fight's over.
So is it evil to enjoy technical sport at an elite level? I don't think it's evil. I think you have to ask yourself the question, are you participating in the perpetuation of athletes who come from dire environments putting their bodies on the line for the sake of prosperity. That's a fair conversation. Like football. I struggle with watching football because I feel like it's a lot of folks that come from poverty. Their only ticket out is football, and then they go play football, and then 9 out of 10 times they're going to get hurt.
That's a lot of MMA though.
Not to the degree of football.
I mean, if you watch like the pre-cut scenes, everyone's like, "I am from the slums in Brazil." And
I see. I see. You're talking about the poverty parallel.
Yeah, the poverty parallel.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was talking about the conclusions of it.
Yeah.
And so, so the violence itself is evil in the sense that it is directly tied to sinful nature. I don't think so. I don't think violence in and of itself is evil because there's times you can respond with violence. There's times you can respond with violence.
Is there a difference between watching it and actually being a fighter? You're not the one getting hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think that violence in and of itself is evil. The Crusades was a response, right? The initial Crusades. Some of the later Crusades was pretty wild. But there are aspects of violence that aren't evil. But see, this is when you get into the weird super passive soy boy theology. Yeah. Where like someone comes in your house, destroy your family, grape your wife, and you think that because you're a Christian, you're supposed to just take it laying down. Or worse.
Just pray about it.
Or worse, you think you're a martyr for letting your wife get raped and your child get deleted.
Oh.
That is soy boy, I question a lot about you theology. That's an extreme version of it. I think most people would say, hey, if you being martyred for the gospel is not the same as like you allowing someone to destroy your family and your livelihood and grape your wife. Those are not one of the same. They're just not. They're very different. If we're talking about self-defense, I say it's your duty as a man to protect your wife, right? And your family. I would absolutely say, because what's the alternative? You don't want to protect your wife. You're scared of guns. So you're going to call good guys with guns. That's some, I'm going to stop because I'm going to say something mean. But like really think through these conclusions. Someone breaks into your home. You're afraid of having a firearm. You're afraid of learning how to be competent with your body to defend yourself. So then the solution is don't adjust to become competent with potentially needing to defend your family. The solution is I'm going to call good guys to come and save me. You have a moral responsibility to protect your family, period, point blank. And so there's nothing in the scriptures that condemns that. There's nothing in the scriptures that says that's wrong, that's sinful, right? There's nothing in there like that, right? And if you point to the cross and you point to Stephen being martyred and you point to many of the apostles being martyred, they're being martyred they're being martyred for their faith. 2, they're being martyred in an oppressive system where they don't have the rights that we have today. If they weren't Roman citizens, a lot of them didn't have the rights we have today. So them being martyred was also within the context of that. We like to read the New Testament and remove all of our context. You're reading the New Testament and you're going, yeah, like I know they had very little rights. I know that they were oppressed. I know that the daggone Romans destroyed Jerusalem in 70 AD. I know that Nero would burn Christians alive for entertainment. I know all that, but I'm just going to remove and act like our situation is the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. Not to mention all the wars in the Old Testament. Not to mention David going and destroying Goliath and chopping off his head and holding it over people. And you're like, if someone breaks into my house, I'm just gonna go hide in a bunker and I'm gonna go hide in the shower. What? Grow a pair. Go to a gun range.
That's great. No, that's great insight. We've gotten the question a few times. So
have we?
Oh yeah. And people have been like, can you watch UFC and be Christian?
Yeah. Hey, listen, if you feel convicted to watch the UFC, don't watch the UFC. I'm gonna keep watching UFC. Like UFC 300 was nuts. UFC 300 was nuts. I loved it. I thought it was great.
What am I wearing?
What are you wearing, bud?
Stand Your Ground. Part of our new Armor of God drop coming very soon.
Someone found the secret jacket on the website. I don't know how that was even possible.
I think 2 people bought the jacket.
You should have at least had it at the full $149 price.
So they get punished for jumping the gun, or they get props for being so diehard that they dug deep
I don't even know how they found it.
Bro, there's always like, whenever we're doing a drop, there's always like one person deep in our catalog, like behind 5 different library modes in the Shopify that find it and then buy it. So 2 people bought the Armor of God jacket. So there's only 94 left. This is the Warfare hoodie because it doesn't just feature the Stand Your Ground here. Uh-oh. Zach's getting up.
Uh-oh.
Zach's getting up.
Uh-oh. Oh! Hey, Rich asked us, why are we always asking for money indirectly? I'll be honest with you, Rich. This isn't indirectly. We're selling you merchandise right now. That's what's happening.
You just saw an ad.
This is pretty direct, my guy. We have a custom cut and sew jacket we've been working on since December. A lot of people are excited about it, and we have merchandise that Zach's designed that we're rather excited about. Seems like people are excited about. So there's nothing indirect about this. I'm not sure what stream you were watching, but there's something indirect. We have merchandise on sale.
Yep.
You should buy it. Why should you buy it? Well, because when you invest and put your money where your mouth is regarding your attention and your dollars, it helps channels like ours. If you didn't notice, we don't do brand deals. We don't do brand deals because we don't want to sell you Helix mattresses and ExpressVPN and little plots of land in Scotland so you can be a lord or lady, right? We don't sell you that stuff. Why don't we sell you that stuff? Because we don't believe in that stuff. So what do? We sell you the stuff we believe in.
Because
Because
doing what we do here isn't free.